Hello, hello, hello. Let's get jiggy with it. Today we got a concrete pour. I believe it's a few columns. As you can tell, the bucket is not very full, so we are going far out on the jib. I think I can definitely take more concrete than what's in there, but as you can see, the tester's right there. This is the first bucket, so you can't
probably go a little
really
bit more than that. Juice it up a bit, obviously.
You can't really juice it up before the concrete guy tests it. You want to wait for him to have his nice good test, and then you can sneak a little juice in there. Yeah, that's pretty much the game that we play here. And yeah, so this bucket, it's probably, I want to say 7,000 pounds. It's probably only about 5.5 here. Looks like a good half bucket to me, not much more. And I actually was waiting for the other crane. There's another crane. The jib was in my way. I'm in the taller crane, so I have to wait until the lower crane is out of the way, because the lower crane has the right of way. Now you can see the boys out there on that farthest column. We're doing the hard stuff first, getting the far column up to height and all finished, and then working back towards the base of the crane like we should. I hit my brake there because it's a bit windy. I don't know if you can hear the wind. Not so much now, but you will be able to soon. That ticking is a line indicator. The frequency of the clicks is directly relative to how much line is coming out. You can see some of the stuff in the background kind of blowing in the wind, so that gives you a good indicator that there is some wind happening. And you know, they're down on the ground, but up 200 feet up where I am, it's usually much worse. Okay, I'm finally getting some hand signals here. He's got his hand up saying that he's ready. I think they're calling me down. I'm not exactly sure. I'm a little shy. I need to trolley out. I don't want to go too far. I think they got their hands on it now. Yeah, really. Yeah, if no one's giving you commands or clear signals via radio or hand signals, you just have to go really slow, because the potential, there we go, there's a hand signal. The potential to make a mistake, or you know, get blown to the side in the wind, or overswing and knock one of your guys off of the platform is very real. You know, it's a wrecking ball essentially. So you cannot afford to squish, crush, or knock a guy off the platform. So without clear direction, you just have to go very slow and very controlled. There's going to be a lot of deflection here. That's why you see me with my right hand come down on that hoist as the concrete comes out, trying to keep the bucket at a level plane while they pour.
Hey, Steve, that panel stays in Sean's hand. You're not to go up and over anything with that panel in this wind.
So that was me talking to the other crane. It's very windy, and I want to make sure that they are not flying a large panel in windy conditions. Depending on your setup here, I'm a full scope operator. I got some B tickets working around me, so I kind of set the rules and keep everyone in check. And that's, you know, usually how it works when you have apprentice operators, or provisional operators as we call them in our jurisdiction. Looks like the boys are almost done. You can see that I'm drifting to the left a bit. It's really hard to keep it tight. There's my up call. They're saying get the heck out of here, we want to vibrate. I say no problem, I'll go back and get some more. Now I have to trolley in a lot. You see that ribbon along, there's an active power line right there. So I have to trolley in quite a bit to get around it. There's also this rock truck that, well, you know, there's no one, it's not an active working machine right now. There's no one in it. It's not moving. It's just sitting there parked. So if I really wanted to, I could swing over it, but it's still bad practice, and you don't want to do it if you do not have to. Swinging back to the trucks here, this is one of the trickiest parts because your bucket is empty, which makes it harder to land smooth. And especially in the wind like this, oh boy. And you can actually see my test block there to the right of the truck. That's a big block of concrete I lift up every morning. So that's at about 186 feet. So I'm landing this 200 feet out on my jib. It's very far. So I gotta work with the wind, work with the angle of the dangle, try to safely drop this into my guy's hands. Now I cheat it short a bit. You know, I don't want to get too close to the truck. And then, yeah, I come down nice and smooth. Yeah, it looks like we did a good job. But as you can see, my block is trying to go left. So I give it a little swing to the right, try to lock it out. Now you can hear the wind, hear that? There it is. Some serious wind. Bucket's filling up. Looks a little better. You can tell that the concrete's finding, you know, kind of a flat, less like a slushy, where it could have like some lumps in it, and more like a glass of water, where it's got a nice even surface area. Gotta take the weight slow in a crane. You can't take the weight quickly. Take the weight slow, and then once you have all the weight and it's in the air, boom, now we can rip it. Honk the horn, let the boys know you're coming. The slew motor you hear. Yeah, tuck her right in. Avoid going over the rock truck and come inside the power line. And then I'm pushing it out on the trolley now. That's what the trolley is. She's working hard. I was probably in at like 60 feet there, and now I'm pushing it out to 200 and something. So I am pushing it. And right now, the first thing I'm worried about is my swing. I want to try to get my swing on. It's the toughest thing to get bang on when you're in the wind like this, for sure. So I know I have a bit of height to work with, so I can just come down nice and steady. When you're out on the jib far like this, 200 feet, you want to come down very steady. You don't want to be stop, start, stop, start. It's going to make it bounce a lot. So I'm in his hands, I can see that. Come down a few more. And then eventually I get so close that, you know, I'm unsure if it's safe to proceed. So I essentially just have to wait. And if he gives me a hand signal, I'll follow. But if he doesn't give me anything, then, you know, all I can do is try to line up the bucket. Now I'm coming just an inch at a time down, hoping he likes that. Yeah, looks like he does. He's starting to pour. You know, it's really hard to line up the bucket like this, especially in the wind. Not from my perspective, but for the guys pouring. Like, this is hard to do. There's two of you, you're holding a big bucket. It's never going to be exactly where you want. It's going to be bouncing a little bit. It's not going to be ideal situation. It's going to be tough. And on top of that, you're also worried like, oh, you know, these are tall columns, 20 feet. So you're worried about how much you can pour to be able to vibrate all the way down so you don't have any voids in the concrete. So there's a lot going on in their mind and a lot that they're trying to read and respond to. See, the bucket's drifting left and it's empty. See, he doesn't understand that it's empty.
No mess.
He's like, hey, I want some more. See, I have a weight indicator, and I know how much the bucket weighs, so I know when there's no concrete left. But since I don't have a radio, I can't tell them, hey buddy, there's no concrete left, let me go get some more. But they've already figured it out by now, so it's no harm, no foul. You're bound to have little miscommunications like that when you pour concrete without a radio, which I do not recommend. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So it is what it is.
Incorrect. The only call I must is an all stop.
Guy on the ground giving me some helpful signals. I like that. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, I hear that wind. I must be really crosswind right here. Oh yeah, he's got his hands on. Going back and forth. Oh, didn't quite get it. Bouncing a little. We'll get it here. Little tap out. Oh yeah, baby. Right where daddy likes it. There's the guy who tested the concrete, putting his little mix back in the bucket. Thanks, guy. Appreciate it. This is what the life of an operator is like. Bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. Little water in between. Always go slow at the start. My rigger gets all mad at the Hitachi, says, hey, stay away from my bucket, boy. But him and I both see each other, no big deal. And I gotta come in on the trolley extra hard there to avoid some workers, I assume. Now I'm going out, way out on the jib. You can see the other crane there working. Landing some rebar. Might be messing with my anti-collision. Actually, you can see the third crane too through the cab right above my left hand. There is the third crane. Oh, now we got a water droplet obscuring our vision here. I have to come out very slow because I'm approaching another jib of the crane. So, yeah. It's just a little bit of a slow go for now. The wind, the other crane, the fact that I'm not getting a lot of hand signals, you know, all these factors add up to a pour taking more time. Because as the operator, you have to make sure it's safe. And in the absence of those things that I've mentioned, going slow is the only safe thing. And there's my alarm, my weight alarm going off. That starts to go off at 80% of my maximum capacity. So this bucket is more full than last time. But it's not going off now. It was only going off when I was coming down, because when I stop my hoist, it kind of bounces it a bit.
What are you waiting for? Hell to freeze over? Let's go!
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing here. He's trying to... Oh, the handle's probably not great, and he's trying to pull and open it a little bit, but not. Sometimes it's either like 100% open or 100% closed. It's hard to feather it, so it's only open 30%, so you get a nice consistent stream. But yeah, I'm having a hard time keeping the bucket exactly where I want it, so I'm very focused. I think he's getting close to being done, this column, so he doesn't want to put too much concrete in the form, because you don't want to overpour or underpour. You want to get it as bang on as possible. If you overpour, you have to chip it, and that costs money. So if you're a guy that consistently overpours the columns, you are not gonna be in good favor with the foreman or with the boss, with the guy who has to pay for the guys to chip it. You don't want to be under either. In my opinion, it's better to be under than it is to be over. But being bang on is the best. Because then you got no cold joint, and you're not going to have to do any chipping. But of course, when you pour, you're going to vibrate after. So it's not, and the vibration changes the level of the concrete that's been placed in there. You know, when you vibe it, it changes the level. Usually it goes lower. But yeah, it's a delicate balance. There's a lot of things going on, you know. You can feel a lot of pressure when you're up there pouring columns, standing on that deck. So it's all right. We'll let him take his time. No problem. Yeah, it looks like he's vibing. So if he vibes and if it changes, he'll decide whether he wants to take a little bit more or not. You can even see the other rigger back there working, landing some more steel, messing around with some bundles. That's all right, you know. He can take as much time as he needs. I'm not having too bad of a time. That's the nice thing about being a tower crane operator. You know, when other guys are figuring out what to do, you just get to sit there and wait. Maybe for some of you, you would hate that.
What's happening,
Maybe
Captain?
some of you would like it.
Steve! Every time! Look at your block, Steve. Stop your hoist. Steve, Jesus Christ, buddy.
Giving a little freak out to one of my B-ticket operators who's doing something I do not like. Looks like his block's getting a little too wild for my liking. And looks like this guy's decided to pour a little bit more concrete. Not much. Just a little more. Maybe that's the ticket right there. Oh, no, he wants another shot. Should be able to get it within 1 to 2 inches. I would say you want to have less than 2 inches from the pour height. That would be considered acceptable, in my books anyways.
Holy, what is this, like 20 minutes a column? There's no reason for this to take more than 5 minutes. You have the vibrator already in the column, all the way at the bottom. Fill her up, turn it on, pull it up all the way, all the way at the bottom. You put the vibrator in first when there's nothing in the column, just the rebar cage. So you know it's at the bottom. You fill up the concrete to the fill line, turn the vibrator on, pull it out. That'll drop your fill line by maybe 6 inches a foot. Then top it up, dip the vibrator in just a little bit. You only need to be at, you don't need to go to the bottom again.
Yeah.
These guys just don't know what they're doing. That's the only way to explain it taking this long. They're unsure, right?
Yeah, they are unsure. That's correct.
If you know what you're about, there's no reason for it to take this long.
There is also the possibility, and
I mean, things can happen, but you know, there's not
says
a
he's
problem with
done.
concrete.
so that's good. There's also situations where, you know, the vibrator, you have the wrong size and it's not.
But don't get me wrong, there is reasons why concrete gets effed up. This is just not one of those times.
Yeah. So yeah. And I do recommend, if you're not sure, you know, take the time and make sure you get it right. But you should be working with someone who knows exactly what they're doing, and they can show you their process for how to get things right the first time. Because like I said, if you're doing your heights wrong, if you're
still vibing,
getting big voids, even if you vibe too much, that can be an issue too. You're going to end up with all those bubbles kind of in the concrete surface. It's not good.
unless they got some sort of shitty ass vibrator that don't do the job well. And it is possible sometimes you get those skinny little whips. Suck. But I don't think that's the situation. I could be wrong.
Anyways, boys, thanks for watching. Catch me next time. Bye-bye.